know if you can tell by looking at me, but I really like having fun colored hair. My entire internet presence has consisted of me having colorful hair. Even before I did YouTube videos about cutting and coloring my own hair, I did TikTok videos about it. But I did start dyeing my hair before I was even on the internet. I didn't get on the internet until I was above the age of 20. I think I was 21 or 22 when I made my first TikTok because my parents were very strict and I did not have any internet access unless I could sneak it by myself until I moved out. And to be fair, I also didn't start dyeing my hair until I moved out. So it was only like a year or so after I first dyed my hair that I finally started making videos online. So since it's been about like 5 or 6 years since I started even dyeing my hair fun colors, I figured it would be a fun video to go back and look at them all and put them in a tier list. A lot of the times I dye my hair, I do it myself. Every now and then I will get it professionally done, which we can talk about when we get there. Same thing with cutting. A lot of the times I cut my own hair, and the times when I get it professionally done, we'll talk about it. And I do want to go through all these hair colors in chronological order, and this will just be a really fun look into my hair journey and all the craziness that's been going on. So here we have our tier list, just super simple, very basic. And as you can see in the bottom, I have a lot of screenshots of YouTube videos and TikToks, but I do have 1 or 2 just pictures in here that I just took in my everyday life, and we're gonna go over them all. We're gonna talk about them all. I don't know why every time I put the pictures in the tier list that it always like changes the order around, so I'm gonna have the order pulled up separately so we can go through them in chronological order. First picture we have, which is the first time I ever dyed my hair in any capacity at all, is this picture of me with like a red to orange to yellow gradient hair. This is not real hair dye. I didn't actually dye my hair for this picture. This is like that spray-on like hair dye shit that you get around Halloween. I was still living with my family at this point. This was the Halloween after my childhood home burned down. So I was still with my family and we were all celebrating Halloween together. And my family's favorite thing in the world to do was to do a theme for Halloween. Everyone was one thing. So I went as the house on fire. My brothers went as firemen. My little sister went as a fire truck. My parents went as Dalmatians. So I did my hair that color and I wore like basically a big cardboard cutout that looked like a house, and it looked like I was the fire in the house. This is also back when my hair was very, very long. So we're actually in a rental house in this picture because, like I said, our house had burned down and we didn't have a new place to live yet. We were living in hotels for a very, very long time. I think I'm gonna put this at a B because I actually like it a lot. The red to orange to yellow fade is very, very nicely done. Of course, it only lasted for this one night, which isn't like, you know, ideal for dyeing your hair, but it was like the temporary hair stuff. So even though it was like a one night thing and it wasn't very well done, I just think it looks nice. I think it looks very visually appealing. So now let's talk about the first time I actually like truly dyed my hair, like bought box dye from the store and dyed my hair. I actually had pictures of it. I had pictures of the process. I had pictures of what the gloves looked afterwards because it looked like a full murder. Because I went red for the first time ever dyeing my hair because I figured it would be easy to go over my natural hair and I wouldn't have to dye it. I was correct about that. I don't have any pictures for some reason from this time. Mostly what it did was just to make my natural hair, which is like a dirty blonde, like a dishwater blonde, look more red, which is expected. So I don't actually have any pictures for some reason. I am a notorious deleter of everything, so I probably just got sick of having it in my space. Not to mention it's from a time in my life that I didn't really enjoy, and a lot of the pictures from me with this time period were with me with my abusive ex, so there's a chance that they got deleted for that reason. However, I do have this picture here from a skating competition where I won, where my hair is like that faded out after this. So it's after I dyed it and it had faded for several months. It's also really, really long still. This is before I really found that I really like my hair a lot shorter. So this I'm gonna go ahead and put in D. It's mostly just faded. It looks kind of fun, like a purpley reddish color, but it's definitely not something that I like strive for. And because my hair is long, my bangs are all crazy. Yeah, so this is getting D tier. And then after that, the next color I dyed my hair was purple. I got this professionally done and I got it professionally cut very short, like a pixie cut almost. And I do not remember where I went, but I remember I left them a very bad review afterwards. What I asked for was black hair with purple tips. And as you can see in this picture, what they gave me was just purple hair. Like it was just purple hair. So I did not like that. Also, they gave me the most insane haircut ever. This is getting D tier. It's not what I asked for. It's a horrible haircut. And I do like purple, but again, it's not what I asked for. And also in this specific haircutting session, the lady that was cutting my hair told me that I was always gonna look ugly with short hair and that it was silly of me to even want that, which might be why this haircut turned out the way it was. Because originally what I asked for was like, we'll talk about this later, but something I did eventually get. But yeah, so it gets a D from me. And then after, I actually might move it up to C because the next one is this one. This color, this is the purple completely faded. This is after my hair has grown out a little bit, but I'm not very good at cutting my own hair yet. So one side is super short and this side is so long. It is hideous. This is a hideous, hideous, hideous haircut. I had it for a while, unfortunately, and then since the purple is so faded, it just looks nasty. It looks bad. Bad, bad, bad. So D tier for this one. Honestly, I might even move this one up because this one's just horrible, horrible. After that horrific hair color, we have this one. It's gonna go up to C. This is when I decided I was just gonna dye it, like re-dye it purple myself. So it is at least not that disgusting pale purple. The haircut is still crazy, so it's not great. It's growing out a little bit, and the purple at least looks purple and not like sad. These are all from times when I'm not even on YouTube yet. Like this is in my TikTok era. Purple is when I like started doing TikTok way, way, way more often. Also, these are hair colors you're recognizing from my skating video or my video about my skating TikToks because this is the era that I was doing those. We've got more skating stuff coming up, but this time I finally dyed my hair a fun color. I dyed it red. This is red on top of the bleach, which looks very different from the red that's just over my natural hair. So it's a fun color. It's very vibrant. My haircut is still insane. So it doesn't get any better here because of the haircut that I got was just bad. Just all around bad haircut. Again, this is before I like really started cutting my own hair. And if I did cut my own hair, it was just a little bang trim. So still bad. I almost want to give it C because of the haircut. I think I'm gonna give it C just because the haircut is fucking crazy. Because the next one, which is this one, which again you can tell is a TikTok video that I had to swipe this video from, it is still Elmo red, but I got an actual haircut that doesn't look insane. Like it's basically just like a really long pixie cut, but it doesn't look crazy. Like it at least looks like it makes sense. Closely followed up by this one. This is, you can tell it's a little bit faded and that my hair is getting a little bit longer, but at least it's not that crazy long, like weird haircut, and it's a fun color. Now I, for some reason, have just like a massive dearth of a bunch of pictures of my hair from that time. So we're gonna actually jump up in the timeline, not too much. These are still skating TikToks. This is before I was really on YouTube. I was like very, very barely on YouTube. So this haircut, we're gonna give it a C. I'm mostly just back to my natural hair color. My hair is very, very long at this point, although I have this weird kind of like shaping around my face because I was trying to trim my own hair, but I'm mostly back to my natural color. Most of the red has completely faded away. Again, this is kind of a weird, crazy haircut, kind of got a weird emo thing going on, so it's not gonna get any higher than that. Plus it's actually, I might move it to D because it's a crazy haircut and there's not much color going on. It's mostly just my natural hair color, so I'm gonna go ahead and drop it to D, even though it's not nearly as bad as that other one. I don't exactly know why, but for some reason I just really don't have a lot of pictures of the in-between of my red hair growing out longer, because then after that we jump into when I started doing my own hair. I started very, very baby, very, very basic, and just put a few little streaks in my hair, which would be this one. This one was actually fun because it was multicolored. It was like red or blue, purple, pink, I think, because I was trying to do bisexual colors, and it's just like a streak or like a set of streaks in my hair. So at least it's fun. It is still natural colored, and I got a haircut, so my hair doesn't look insane anymore. So after this picture, we're gonna actually get into some of my like YouTube videos. There are gonna be some TikTok sprinkled in around here because I still did TikTok for I think a year or so after I started doing YouTube a little bit more regularly. So now we're graduating to YouTube videos. We have this one here. It's very, very similar. It's just the grown-out version of this. You can see that my blue especially is starting to fade and that my hair is a lot longer. I need a haircut very desperately. So that's gonna be C tier. Then we have this next one. I really like this haircut a lot. The streaks in my hair are mostly faded, but the haircut, the weird like shag layered look, I did completely myself, and I honestly really love this haircut that I did. I would give it A based on the haircut itself, but because the color is mostly faded and you can start seeing those blonde patches showing up again, I'm gonna go ahead and leave it at B, as in bleach blonde patches, I should specify. But this is actually, I think, my favorite haircut I've ever given myself. And then I went ahead and ruined it by getting a shorter haircut with this weird like bowl cut thing. I got the haircut because I was right in the phase of my life where I was starting to realize that I really like having short hair way more than long hair. So I kept getting it cut, and I was just really not going to very good places, and they were really mean to me a lot of the time. I got made fun of a lot by these hairstylists for wanting short hair in the first place, and then I would always come out with the ugliest fucking haircut. I would show them pictures of men usually and be like, I want this haircut, and they'd be like, that's gonna look bad on you, you'll look ugly. So they would refuse to do it and instead give me one of these really fucking ugly haircuts. So D tier for that one. There's the tiniest bit of color still at the very tips of the hair, but the haircut is horrendous. So now we're gonna make the jump of going to the stylist that I still see to this day, even though she's in Dallas and I'm closer to Austin now. This haircut is like just basically a bob with an undercut, which I had wanted for a long, long, long time, and nobody would do it for me. I was not very good at styling it, and this picture, as you can tell, which keeps it from going up any higher. Also, this is like a hot pink hair color because what I really wanted was like bleach blonde with a hint of pink, like a rose gold kind of look. So we purposely dyed it darker so that it would fade to the color I was more wanting. So that's why it goes in B, because freshly after the dye, it's way darker than I wanted. And also, I'm not particularly good at styling my hair, especially in this video. My part is way far over to the side. So this is going to be our first A. This is more of the color I was going to, a very faded, muted pink. You can tell my bottom part, like the bottom half of my hair, is still pretty dark. That's because she was dyeing over like red. There was still those red streaks in my hair. So she's dyeing over me self-dyeing it red. So the bottom stayed pretty dark. So then we go back to a TikTok because I had to take a break from posting on YouTube because of computer issues. And also this is when my car, I got in an accident, so I couldn't, like, I didn't have any free time because I had to go to work with the train schedule, which was hard to do. So I am going to put this one in A, and we're going to talk about it because this TikTok specifically is not actually a great representation. This is when my hair finally faded to the point where I got that rose gold look. Like, it's very light with like the slightest tint of pink to it, and I loved it. This is once it's faded just a little bit, it's like kind of past the point of being that rose gold, and now it's just kind of like weird blonde. But the rose gold kind of look specifically, I really enjoyed, and I just wasn't really posting a lot of videos at the time. So it does get A tier. I'm kind of thinking about maybe giving it S tier. I think I'm gonna give it S tier, not this specific photo, but of that point when it was like that perfect rose gold. I had the undercut, which I really liked, and I had it long on top so I could still put it in a ponytail, so I really liked it. So that's our first S tier, which is a pink, which is crazy because I am notoriously a pink hater, but for some reason that specific look I really like. And next we have our second S tier. This is the bird hair that I talk about a lot. I talk about the red macaw that I was inspired by. I talk about how much I love the way my hairstylist did this. I talk about this specific hair color a lot. I think this might be my favorite hair I've ever done. This is an idea of what I'm trying to go for when I get my hair redone in July. This was the first time I did like a bunch of colors like this. I think we did 5 colors. I still had my undercut in this one, so I still really like that feeling. I like the length on this a lot. Like, this was a great haircut. And also just the colors and the dyes are so fun. I really liked this. I got this like a week or 2 before I moved back to Austin, and I just really love this one. It definitely gets S tier. I think about this specific haircut and color a lot. Unfortunately, after I moved down to Austin, I was very busy. So the next time we saw me on camera was when this look was very faded, and it's gonna go in D tier. It's long, it's faded, it's ugly, it's not great. This actual picture that I'm taking this from is from me re-dyeing my hair because it looks so bad. So it does get D tier for being really faded, really gross. And my undercut was kind of grown out. You can't see it in this picture. And then obviously all the dye is gone from the undercut because if you shave it every so often, you're gonna grow out of your dye really fast. So D tier for that guy. And then we get, I'm gonna say B tier for this. This is what I re-dyed my hair to in this video. I would try to do a bunch of different colors, but it mostly just turned out blue. The dye I was using was just overtaken by all the blue. But I still like this haircut a lot. I was able to put it up like I've been talking about, and I had my undercut still at this point, and then the bangs I actually really liked. I thought this was a really nice haircut. I'm thinking about maybe not doing an undercut, but maybe doing some sort of shave something. Just I'm ready for a change, I feel. But yeah, so this wasn't a bad look. I almost want to put it in A, but I feel like there's more fun and interesting stuff down the line. So it's not bad at all. We're about to have a crazy jump. So the next hair that I have saved is this one. This is like an orangey look. In between the blue, I don't think I got it bleached again, but I think it faded to the point where I tried to put pink over it and it turned like a purpley color. I was going to see the Barbie movie, so I wanted to put pink in it because I was Barbie themed, but because it was kind of blue already, it just kind of turned purple. And then when that faded out, I went to the orange. So that's the color we have here. We have this orange. You can see some of my roots, but mostly because orange covers natural hair pretty easily, like red does. A lot of my like natural hair just got covered in the orange and it just got, you know, taken up. I went with orange this round because it was a color I hadn't done before. And this particular picture of me is after having it for a few months, so it's not like looking particularly great and fresh, but it is looking better than the next picture we'll look at. And also my hair is pretty short here. I think I was doing a lot of my own hair cutting here. It doesn't look bad. This exact still is from when I just woke up, so that's why it looks pretty crazy, but it's C tier. It looks pretty fine. Then we have this one. I don't know if D tier. I might put it in C tier with its friend. It is the same haircut, hair color, just faded and longer. So this is the orange fading. My hair is pretty much to my shoulders now. It's not a horrible haircut. It's just outgrown. And this faded orange does not look nearly as bad as these at the bottom, how they look faded. It just doesn't look really good. It doesn't look fresh. So we're gonna go with C tier. Then I decided to re-dye my hair. Let's go B tier because at least it's fresh. I have haven't gotten a haircut yet. You can see it's still pretty long, but I re-dyed it red. Red is an easy color. It was definitely going to go over orange. So it is, you know, kind of boring, but at least it looks good, as in the dye doesn't look disgusting. We're kind of back to that Elmo red. That's just kind of my natural go-to. I think this is one specific color of the Redyed, which I don't use anymore, but I used to use all the time because it covered everything. After that, we've got the faded version of it, which I'm going to put in C tier because it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look as nasty as these faded ones down here. It just kind of looks more like when we're talking about that original video of me or picture of me when I very first dyed my hair red and how faded it looked. It looks very similar to that, just a little bit lighter because the base tone was orange and it had been bleached before. So it doesn't look bad. I think it looks fine. It just looked a little bit lifeless. After that, I went to Japan and I didn't film a lot in between me leaving for Japan and coming back from Japan. So the best example of the red from that era is actually this picture from me in Japan. You can tell that I got a haircut. This haircut is a little bit crazy. This is when I went to a hairstylist in Austin because I was like, there's no reason for me to drive up to Dallas. Why would I drive up to Dallas? And I got a really shitty haircut again. I have really bad luck with hairstylists. So it's getting C because it's just red. It's kind of boring, but at least it's, you know, not the muted faded color, but the haircut, bad. Not a fan of the haircut. And then from here, we're gonna go up to the faded look for this one, which I'm putting in A tier, which is weird for a faded look. I just really loved this specific haircut on me. I don't know what it is about this haircut specifically and the wavy and the floofy, and the faded red looks really good. I really like this like hair era of me. It's not nearly as vibrant and crazy as a lot of the other stuff I've done, but there's just something about it I really like. After this, I took another little break from YouTube, not on purpose, which is usually how my breaks go. So we have this picture here. My hair is pretty long. The red is kind of fading, or at the ends of my hair I've got a lot of new growth. So we'll go with C tier because it's not disgusting like the D tier, but it's kind of boring. After this, we jump up to this beautiful kind of fire rainbow that I was doing, trying to chase the high of the bird hair, if you will. And you'll notice that I put this hair in D tier, even though the picture that I'm showing is gorgeous. That's a lovely picture. This picture I took as soon as I got home from getting my hair professionally dyed in Austin. So not a stylist I'm used to, a professional dye job. So it cost me a lot of money and it was in Austin, not my usual hairstylist. This hair color did not last a day. I took a shower the next day and every single ounce of hair dye was gone. It was like a weird muted yellowy orange. It went from this purple, red, orange, yellow, all the way to just like a muted, ugly, nasty color. I took one shower and it was immediately disgusting. So I went back and I was like, what the hell? I took one shower and it looks like this. So she did redo my hair for free, but the only way she would do it is if I bought their expensive ass special shampoo. It was $75 for a thing this big of shampoo. So I bought the stupid fucking shampoo because I was hoping it would actually work. She redid my hair and it immediately faded again, like just completely gone within the first shower, using the special shampoo, using cold water, because I actually never ever shower in cold water with any of my hair dyeing escapades. Never have I ever actually done the cold water thing. I don't want to take a shower in cold water, but I did it for this hair because it faded so quickly and so immediately. So I used the special fucking shampoo and I did a cold shower and still it immediately faded to like a nasty orange yellow, like just truly gone after one wash both times. So that's why it gets D tier. Even though fresh from the salon it looks really amazing, it looked so nasty so soon after, which is why very soon after I actually re-dyed it pink. I really like the pink because you can see a little bit of like the purple in there at the bottom. So since I did one uniform color over all of these other colors, it at least looks fun. Like it looks like pink, but at least varying shades of pink. My roots still kind of look like a twinge purple, and then it's from like dark pink into light pink, which I actually really liked. I think it's fun. I might put it in A tier actually. I think I'm gonna go ahead and bump this one up to S tier because I also have my undercut. My bangs look really nice. Like this is also just a really good haircut. So this is an S tier for me, which puts two pinks in the top tier, which is crazy. But I just really liked this one a lot. I like the hairstyle a lot too. So this one's going in S tier. Then after that, we have it looking a little bit faded. It's gonna go ahead and go in, I think, probably B tier. It still at least has a lot of fun, different variation of shades, but it's pretty short now. I did a lot of cutting because I was trying to grow out my undercut at this point, so I was keeping it short so that the hair length would match sooner. But yeah, it's pretty faded at this point. And then I finally got back to doing YouTube, which is where we have this like kind of icy, really light blue color. I'm gonna go ahead and put this one in C. I don't hate it. I really like the blue. I really like like how light it is, but there's something off about the tone that I don't really like on me. It's like a bluey greeny color, and it's just like not a color that I think looks particularly good on me. And the haircut is like short and that floof look that I like, but yeah, just the hair color itself is not particularly me. So now we have the faded version of that color, and I'm also gonna put it in C because the hair color itself is atrocious. It looks bad. It's like on par with like the purple down here and then this one over here. The color itself is atrocious. I will say though that my haircut in this particular portion of my life, I love. I think this haircut is gorgeous. I really like the floofiness that happens when I have my hair short. And so yeah, even though the color itself is pretty fucking nasty in all honesty, the floof I really, really like. So now let's go ahead and put this one in D. This is that look, just faded and more grown out. It's like more faded, more grown out. So it gets D tier because it looks disgusting. This is in the middle of me doing a big move though, so that's why it looks particularly nasty. From here we get another A. This is when I did my split dye of the purple and orange. It looks more like yellowy orange in this because again, after one wash, the orange pretty easily came out. But I did this for Halloween. I did the split dye specifically for Halloween, and I really, really liked it. I really like the purple flipped over onto the orange. I actually really kind of liked it when the orange faded a little bit into the more like yellowy marigold orange. So I really like it. It's not S tier because I did have some issues with it, but overall A tier. I think it's fun. I like the kind of cut that I've got going on, like this like shaggy but not very long layers. I did very soon after this cut my hair, which is where this haircut comes from, which is gonna give it a C tier. My hair is pretty faded at this point. I don't hate the way I cut it, but it's very, very long in the back and pretty short up here, which doesn't look horrible. And then we're gonna go for another D tier. This is when I had my boyfriend help me cut the back of my hair. This is not his fault. This is just, we're not very good at cutting my hair at home. So the haircut itself is kind of crazy and the colors are very, very faded, so it gets a D tier. And then very shortly after that, I recorded a video of me re-dyeing my hair. This is gonna go B tier because it doesn't look as bad as the other colors. Let me scoot this one up out to B tier actually because it was mostly fine. So this one is again that kind of weird haircut, but at least it's getting longer, and I just threw blue over the faded purple and yellow now, so it turned blue and green, and I really, really liked it. It was really, really dark and deep, and I hadn't done green before, so that was really fun. The haircut itself is still kind of crazy, so we're gonna go ahead and throw it in B tier. Then the faded version of that look will get C tier. Same concept, it's faded. I really like, my hair's a little bit longer in the back now, so it kind of gives more of that floof, which I do like, but the fading, it's not great. Then we have, I think, another S tier. I really liked this hair color. This is another muted and pastel-ish blue, but it's more blue and less green, so it's very, very more my style. I think me and my hair stylist were calling this Batchelor Blue, and this is not it day of. This is it after many months of washing. Not many months, but at least a few weeks. So I like this haircut on me. It's the floof, but not long. I definitely need a bang trim, but this color I really, really enjoy. It's like light, and it's not the layered fun looks, but I really just like this like almost silvery blue. And then next we have the same thing, but grown out and a little faded. It'll get A tier. The silvery blue still is something I like. I need a haircut pretty bad in this picture, but like the silvery blue faded look was not something I was mad about. I think, in fact, this might have been a hair dye job we did at home. The professional blue, which is, that's right, I got this blue done professionally at my Dallas stylist, which is why I ended up liking it. But when this faded to the point where it started to look gross, me and Daniel did an update with a silvery blue specifically, trying to keep that faded look, and I really liked the color. The cut just needs some help. So now we're gonna scoot down to more pinks. Here we have this, will go B tier, because it is just pink, and for some reason certain patches of my hair wouldn't take the dye. This was a dye job done at home, and there were just certain patches of my hair that wouldn't take the dye, which is fun. It looked like fun and dynamic, and my hair doesn't look egregious in this photo. Like the length of it and the floofiness is not, it's fine. Pink is just a boring color. I dyed my hair pink to get back to that rose gold S tier color that we were talking about. So I dyed it pink, hoping that it would fade like the dye job that I put in S tier faded to. That was my hope, which is why it was dyed pink the first time, which then lends to this faded look, which gets a D tier. It did not turn out the way I liked. My hair was, getting a little bit too long, and the faded look really wasn't looking very well. However, at this point, when it started to get really faded, Daniel and I were gonna go to a Chappell concert, which the whole theme of Chappell is pink. So I went ahead and redid it and did it pink again. We'll give this one another B tier because it is just pink, but at least the haircut is longer and floofier. And I kind of like this haircut a little bit more than the pretty blunt bobs. Then we have the faded look for that one. We'll give this one a C tier. I'm giving it a C tier because we have a worse one. But yeah, so there's a lot of new growth. It's pretty faded. It's got a weird like push to it, but I think that's just because I didn't brush it that day. Then the last pink we have is the D tier. It's really long, it's really faded, it's really nasty. I try not to go too long between refreshing my hair unless I know I'm gonna get it professionally done soon. Then I kind of let it fade out as much as possible to make the bleaching easier. So I let this one get really, really nasty because I knew I was gonna go to Dallas and get a refresh done, which is gonna be this color. This is another A tier color. This hair color was very, very nice, very, very pretty. It went from like a purpley blue to a darker blue to like a green blue, and I think it is gorgeous. When I wore my hair down, it like layered really nicely. When I put it up, it layered really nicely. My hair's a little bit long, but honestly, the color job on this was just so good. I really didn't mind. It was beautiful. Then we have the faded out version. We'll go ahead and give that one a C. It's not as ugly as a lot of the other ones down here, but blue, it all fades to like a similar shade of blue, which isn't horrible, and it was pretty long. And then we have D tier. This is the before version of right before I dyed my hair green. So it's really faded, it's really long, it's pretty gross. And then we have my green hair pretty much immediately after I dyed it. I think this is a few days after, but my hair is still pretty long. So, and you know, green's not my favorite color, and it is just one all over color. So nothing fun is really happening. So it gets B tier. I like the vibrancy a lot, and I do like that it matches the green screen, but it's gonna go ahead and go in B tier. And then we have the final look, which is my hair from today. I took a screenshot of me making this video, and this is what it's looking like today. It is already kind of faded, which I think it's been about a little, it's coming up on a month since I dyed it, so it makes sense. And it is very long. I need a haircut very desperately. But as I've stated a few times now, in July, I'm gonna go get a very fancy haircut with my stylist. And as we talked about, I like to kind of let my hair get to the point where we can do the best with it. I did talk about this in the video of me dyeing my hair green and why I wasn't doing a different color, why I picked green. So as you can see, the green is already fading pretty well, and if I'm gonna put blues over it, green is an easy color to put blue over. And I don't want to cut it anytime soon because, like I said, I'm trying to do something more fun with maybe a shaved look. So I don't want to cut my hair for fear of messing that up. So yeah, my hair's not looking the best right now, but it has looked worse. And because I'm saving it for a specific type of hairstyle, I'm not really that worried about it. So this is gonna be my final ranking. I think it's pretty easy to tell what are my favorite types of hairstyles. Mostly lots of colors. I really like lots of fun colors. Like this pink look is only up in S tier because it had so many different variations of color. I still think the bird is my top favorite. I would put this blue next because I really, really liked this blue. I really, really like this layered pink look. Again, I really, really like the fun variation of colors. Then this blue and then the rose gold pink. I think those are, oh, that's 5 too. So my top 5 hair colors I've ever done. And that would be my lineup. 2 blues, 2 pinks, and then one that's just a bunch of different colors, but mostly blue. So this was a little bit of a fun jaunt down memory lane. I think once upon a time I mentioned in a video that I've never had a hair color fade to something ugly. I think I was being a little bit extra charitable, let's say. What I think I actually meant in that video, or whenever I said that, probably in the TikTok, was something more along the lines of if I dye it a deep vibrant color and it fades to a lighter version of that color, I'm not upset about it. It's when we start getting to the point where very clearly it needs a refresh that we're starting to get into that D tier look, just like dirty, nasty. But like this, that is technically faded, right? It's this faded green, but I don't hate it. I think it's fine. So I think that's what I meant by my hair has never faded to a bad color. Now within a few weeks, it might be worse, and I don't know if I'm gonna try and re-dye it green. I don't think I have any green left, honestly, because again, I'm trying to like be really careful about what I do to it now to affect the future. So we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, this has been a fun journey. I think the refresh of the bird hair is gonna be pretty fucking exciting. I'm really interested in getting something on my side shaved, so we'll see about that. I don't know if I'm just gonna like fully shave this half, probably not, probably like a little strip on either side, which I think will just be fun. Maybe I'll get an undercut again. It's been a minute, and last time I got an undercut, it was winter. I think I would get a less dramatic one though. Last time it was like half of my head. I think I might get like a smaller one and then kind of like do a ring maybe. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Can you tell? But anyways, that's gonna be it for me in this video. Just a fun little video looking at past hair colors. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.